The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first virtual summer meeting. I, Ryan Pryor, aka El Presidente, will be your PGA host. I hope everyone has stayed well during these stressful times. Me, I've had a lot of time to work on my honey-do list and my homemaking skills, as well as working in my backyard vineyard. I heard Hallmark Channel wants to do a series on me called Pryor in the Vineyard, so I'm really excited about that. Just kidding, all joking aside, I want to thank our SCPGA staff and SCPGA on being proactive and keeping us up to date with getting back to golf and with the ample opportunity to catch up on our MSR credits. Also would like to thank the PGA, caring for our fellow PGA professionals with establishing the PGA Relief Fund for those who might not have been able to receive unemployment during these times. I'm excited of who we have to speak in our meeting today from our SCPGA staff. We have Mr. Tom Addis III, Executive Director of the SCPGA, Tony Letendre, our current President of the SCPGA, Nikki Gatch, Chief Operating Officer, Assistant Executive Director, Jeff Johnson, our Chief Financial Membership Officer, Junko Suzuki with our PGA Junior League, and Kenny Farrell with PGA Consultant. I've asked each one of them to share for about 10 to 15 minutes on what's going on in their current roles working for the SCPGA and what they have learned to adapt to during these times. I'm also excited of what our guest speaker, Rich Lesnick, founder of the Big Game Golf Scoring app, has to share with us to talk about the cool features and benefits with using the scoring app. You will also hear from some of our IE chapter board members on the current status of our chapter and what we would like to see going forward. I would like to start with saying that one of our own, Michael Markham, has accepted a new position in the Pacific Northwest section as Director of Instruction and Player Development at Tulatin Country Club near Portland, Oregon. He has written a few words in a nice invocation letter, as I will read now. This is from Mr. Markham. Dear Mr. President, in my email to you this past week notifying you of my departure to the Pacific Northwest and a new job, I failed to realize that I wanted to say a few words to my fellow Inland Empire chapter members and associates, since I will not be attending the first chapter meeting after the COVID-19 shutdown. I also realize that I will not be there to deliver the invocation of which I have been very much accustomed to giving. Could you please read this to the men and women in attendance at the meeting, as I feel I owe that to the chapter members and the board. I am so proud and humbled to be a member of the Inland Empire chapter of the Southern California section PGA for the past 21 years. I have seen this chapter through its highs and lows. The first chapter meeting I attended was at Harupa Hills Country Club in the fall of 1999. There were close to 100 in attendance. Only a few years ago, we had a challenge of getting 20 people to show up for a meeting. What's remarkable, but not surprising, is that people stepped up and answered the bell of service when needed to help move the chapter forward. Congratulations to all of you for staying true to your profession and having a vision for the future of our chapter, section, and national PGA. Always remember how you can have a great effect in the lives of people that come into your orbit and continue to give back to the game in any way you can. I will miss you all, but I will never forget your professionalism, spirit, and friendship. Mr. President, with your permission, I would be honored if you would allow me to supply the words for the invocation read by you. So we'll start the invocation now. We can bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we ask that you watch over this group of men and women as they provide enjoyment for so many that need an outlet in these challenging times. Help them deliver service, advice, and expertise that helps people forget the challenges of the day and encourages them to be full of grace and support for their fellow man. We ask that you watch over our association as it pushes through the tough times that lay ahead and keep our law enforcement, government officials, and our country safe in the coming months and years. We ask this in your holy name, amen. All right, thank you for that, Markham. All right, so I would like to ask the SCPGA staff in the order that I call on you to just share about 10 to 15 minutes on what's currently going on in your role and a couple of the things you had to adapt to with these times. The first speaker I'd like to have speak is Tony Latendre, our current president.
I can find the mute button. Sorry about that. Ryan, thanks so much, and you appreciate everybody for the opportunity to address you this morning. I'm a little nervous about 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know if I can talk that long for you, Ryan, but I'll give you a little bit of a report. At first, I want to thank you guys. I'm real excited to see this reinvigorated Inland Empire chapter. I know there's been some tough years and some tough sledding for a little while, and real excited to see the last couple of years. You guys have really stepped up and really reunited that chapter, which I think is great. And, you know, a lot of kudos go to you, you and Ian and Steve in the past, and just everybody who's had an opportunity to have their fingerprint on the Inland Empire chapter. So thank you very much for that and reinvigorating the chapter. You guys should be proud, and we're looking forward to everything that continues to happen. Just a brief report, let you know what's going on. You may or may not have been on our annual meeting, our summer meeting, and we made the decision that Rob Oosterhuis is going to be our next secretary. So if you haven't seen that, that was announced at the summer meeting. We're very excited to have Rob. We had 3 very good candidates this term, and a very difficult decision. A lot of lengthy conversations regarding that, but in the end, Rob will be our next secretary. He'll shadow for the next 6 months. He'll be sworn in at the annual meeting in December. And so all good information there. The staff has been very hard at work, the section staff, you know, keeping us all informed, which I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to them. And, you know, give a good kudos to Tom, Jeff, and Nikki for everything that they've done in keeping us informed, in keeping us connected, in allowing opportunities for MSR. Very excited about the tournament coming up at the end of the month at Monarch to get kind of back to normal, so to speak, what our new normal is, I guess I would say. So very excited about that, but I think we should all be very proud of that team and feel very fortunate that we have them in place at our section office, because they really are the nuts and bolts that hold us together, and they're the ones that make things happen within our section. So really owe a lot to those guys. So thank you very much publicly again for everything that you guys have done. Just a brief update, and you know, just to let you know what we're doing. You had made the comment, Ryan, about what we're doing here at our club, or what we're doing in these crazy times. And the interesting thing for me is I know way more about this than I ever wanted to know, to be quite honest. And part of it, I think, is because our company has clubs in 3 different counties. So we have Riverside County represented, San Diego County represented, and Orange County represented within our company. And it's amazing to me to see just how different all the rules are at in every one of the counties. You know, we just seem to be monitoring day to day and seeing what we can and can't do. And then the ironic thing is Dove Canyon falls in an unincorporated area of Orange County. Therefore, we don't have a police department that governs. So when you've got the county that says one thing, and for instance, Robin, our vice president at Seacliff, he had an incident about halfway through this whole thing where he was shut down. He was told he could open by the county, and then he was shut down by Huntington Beach Police Department. And it's ironic as you see all these things that continue to unfold and the confusion of what we do. So having everything that Nikki and Tom and Jeff have done to keep us connected and keep us informed has really been helpful, because you know, for instance, here for us, you know, we don't have a police department, so we operate under what the sheriff says, but what the sheriff says is different than what the state says. And I know in Riverside County, you guys had a little bit of a scare where, early on, where how long we were going to be closed. And so, all of these things that we've been weighing, I just want you to know that you're not alone, that we're all doing the same thing and dealing with the same, I'll call it stress or uncertainty or whatever adjective you want to use. We're just trying to go day to day. I'm excited to say that we are back open. We've been golfing for a while. We've been riding in carts for a while. We were able to open our restaurant a couple weeks ago. We actually opened our gym on Friday. We've limited the space, limited spacing, keeping people apart. We haven't gone to the extreme measures like I'm hearing in some places where they're putting up poles and shower curtains in gyms. I guess they did that in Redondo Beach over the weekend, I heard. So we haven't quite gotten to that extreme yet, but we're just being very mindful of everything that's going on. And I'm happy to share anything that we do if anybody's curious. Feel free to reach out or ask questions on this format. I'm happy to answer them. But we're just kind of taking it day to day. So to kind of answer your question there, Ryan, I think I got to about 8 minutes, but I don't know if I can get any more without just babbling. So I'll leave it at that and just say thanks for the opportunity to join you this morning. And if there's anything I can do or any questions I can answer, please don't hesitate. But real excited about the Inland Empire chapter. The chapter members, you should be very proud of your leadership. They've really stepped up, and we're excited to see what happens going forward. So thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing, Tony. Next, I would like to have Mr. Tom Addis speak and give us a few minutes of what you've been dealing with during these times and how you've learned to adapt to certain situations.
Yeah, good morning, Ryan, and excuse me, good morning, everyone, and Tony, thank you. Yeah, they've been very interesting times, as you all know, and one of the key words, Ryan, that you used was adapt, and I believe that that's been the program over the past 2 to 3 months since we've been faced with this COVID-19 crisis and virus. Your section shut down on March 16th, along with just about everyone else. We are now looking at next Monday, as most of you know, being our opening events, both with our member tournaments, with our Pro at Monarch Beach, as well as our Toyota Tour Cup up in Ventura at Las Cosas. So we're excited about that, and that's been a week-by-week effort. Depending, it's been I continue to use, and we use around the office, a fluid situation, as all of this has been, and and adapting to those situations. So, as was said earlier, everything is firm except agency by agency. So we live in a very, very interesting time. And one of the things that we need to be focused on through these times is, as you read the headlines and you read the news and listen to the news out there, even though we are open, that fluidity is not to be ignored, because, excuse me, whether it's golf instruction or food and beverage or retail, whatever it might be, with the increasing cases that are being discovered every single day of the virus every single day, we don't know what will happen with that. And that points to one of my favorite words, and that's responsibility. That points to our responsibility to ensure that we're being very careful, very safe, and focused on the health of everyone as we continue to open our facilities and golf courses and the activities that we provide with those. So we implore you to make sure and to ensure that the practices are followed, whether they're practices through your local county agency, through the state. And I know there's some confusion from time to time, and or even through the Back to Golf and the guidelines that we have published, whether it be on SCPGA.com or Pga.org, whatever it might be. Keep up to date with your state requirements as well. Just as an example, I know that over the past 2 weeks, the state guidelines, which were, by the way, we're in what's called an approved outdoor activity. And so far, we've been very, very lucky. Everyone's pulled together. And golf has really become kind of an example for an outdoor activity and doing the right thing. And congratulations to all of you for that. And following the guidelines, whether it's Riverside County or San Bernardino County, whatever it might be. And we appreciate that, especially now with, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, more and more cases being reported as we go through every day. But pay attention to what the guidelines are. If you need any help, if you need anything as far as publishing, we have the information available for you. As I mentioned, Back to Golf, with the different phases in Back to Golf. And I know we're kind of in 2.5 to 3 or 3.5 in those phases. And again, it's a week by week monitoring. So we just ask you to make sure at your golf courses, your facilities, that you are responsible, you're following the safe distancing, you're using face guards when at all times actually is our recommendation. Our events, if you look at the guidelines that we've put together with our events, you'll notice that they're extremely conservative, and we're following the protocols very, very closely. So, and we will continue to do that. We are going to set an example, and we're proud of that example that we're setting. I know Nikki and Jeff and the entire team at the SCPGA is working hard to ensure that we have all those guidelines in place and are following. So again, don't hesitate to contact us. Go to scpga.com. Take a look at our resource page, whether it be for tools, whether it be for sanitizing agents, whatever it might be, guidelines to help you get open. Please review that. We've been very fortunate. We had a nice campaign with the SCGA on Back to Golf and playing safe, and that was very popular and very important. And we appreciate the opportunity to work with the SCGA. And keep in mind, our responsibility is to set an example. The optics, the perception that's out there, we are in the lead, and we need to stay that way in providing that outdoor activity that's so important. A couple of other things that we work on and are still unfortunately kind of pushed to the background was the independent contractor status, the California Supreme Court ruling from a year ago last April, and then the California State Legislative Assembly Bill 5, which I'm sure you're all aware of. Well, now we're back into that conversation. We were hoping by this time to have a little more information and more exemptions as to what our status is as an independent contractor. There's another bill that's been introduced called AB 1850 by the same author as AB 5 that really kind of clarifies it a little bit more in our business-to-business relationship. We've been in a good position, and there's really been no issues in regards for our independent contractors. I know that some companies, some golf courses have taken away that status, made independent contractors employees, but there is a number of ICs in our section that are still doing business. I think one thing that we're going to see, and I know we talked about this before, is that when we do, or when we're put into position to have these exemptions in place, one of the things that we may need to do, we already know that it's pretty important, is a business license, for example, to prove your independence, that you have your own business. The other thing is you may be required to incorporate. So we need to kind of pay attention to that as well. It's very possible that there will be some sort of certificate required. We don't know what that might be, whether it will be certification under the PGA guidelines, whether it be specialization, we don't know that. But we're fairly sure that incorporation and the business license will be one of the requirements to prove and maintain your independent contractor status. So keep your eyes and ears open for those developments. We'll continue to publish those on scpga.com, and with the help of Craig Kessler and the Southern California Golf Association, He is Director of Government Relations for the SCPGA, and we're on his coattails and the SCPGA's coattails in that regard. A couple of other things. You read a note from Tony and myself last week regarding outreach, and we are very committed to expanding our outreach. We have a program being developed with one of our staff, Eddie Rodarty, in Compton, California. Never experienced golf, never had golf as an activity in their school system, and we're very, very close to, in fact, Jeff and Eddie are going back over to meet with the city, I believe tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Wednesday, in regards to the golf course and helping them get the golf course upgraded a little bit in Compton. And that program, we anticipate expanding our involvement in Compton with various activities, whether it be helping clean up the clubhouse or helping with maintenance practices, those kinds of things, to expand that opportunity for that community to provide golf for their high school students. Compton Union High School District looks like, if everything goes right, for the first time in history, we'll have golf teams for the students, boy and girl students in Compton. So that's pretty exciting. And we hope to expand that outreach into other communities in Southern California as well. So we are very dedicated to that outreach and providing those golf as an activity in that regard as well. Our member events, as mentioned, June 22nd, next Monday. Some of you are playing as our first event back since March 9th. Our June 20, our Pro Scramble. That was part of the summer meeting that we had to cancel, but we have a full field with that. The week after at Valencia is our senior junior. We have a full field there. They are tournaments. Under the guidelines, we have to be very careful. It won't necessarily look like a tournament. It'll look like open play, and all of the safety precautions will be set out and playing by those safety precautions. So we appreciate that. We appreciate your cooperation with that as well. The match play, by the way, too, has started with individual matches and to finish off at the end of July at the Crosby. So our activities and providing, there's nothing that is called back as far as our COVID-19 and the virus and the precautions and the stay at home that was issued earlier. All retail at golf courses is eligible to open. Food and beverage is eligible to open with various restraints, again, by agency, and implore you to pay attention to that as well. So we're looking forward to that. The California chats that maybe some of you have participated in and with, we are now on a once per week through the end of this month, the 26th, and then we're going to go to a 1 per month California Nevada chat, just to keep everybody updated as to what's going on, whether it be with COVID-19 or whether it be with AB5/1850, whatever it might be. And that's we'll continue to have Craig Kessler and PGA involved. We have, in fact, on the 26th, we have Mike Davis, the Executive Director, CEO of the United States Golf Association, coming on. Next week, we're trying to get the tournament chairman from the Charles Schwab event that was just run successfully down at Colonial in Fort Worth to talk about what they went through to put together that championship. So we're continuing. We appreciate everybody's attendance. We appreciate seeing you here this morning and being with us this morning. And we'll continue to do and work hard on your behalf, and we'll continue to make sure and ensure that we have a safe environment for everybody and promote a safe environment. We feel that's our responsibility. We feel that's your responsibility to do that and ensure that we do that. So thanks, Ryan, and thanks to the board, President Latendre and Nikki and Jeff and Bryce. Thank you for what you're doing. Much appreciated. And don't hesitate to contact us if you need anything at all. I know that the three of us are available at any time and would like to talk with you and help if we can. So thank you very much, Ryan, and appreciate the time. and look forward to seeing you soon, I hope. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom, for sharing all that great information. Next, I'd like to have Nikki Gatch speak to us a little bit.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. Just have a few additional items that Tom didn't previously cover, but I appreciate that you guys have us on this morning, and it is great to see everybody. Hopefully we can see you in person real soon. As Tom and Tony both mentioned, and as all of you know, we've been able to offer a lot of education opportunities for our members. We've really had a strong focus the last few months on communication and education, and I think we've done a really nice job with that. Certainly want to thank our team once again. Tom and Jeff and I get a lot of the credit, but really the credit goes to our entire team at headquarters, because everyone has contributed to the success that we've seen and really haven't missed a beat these last 3 months. So certainly I'm proud of that, and a lot of what we've offered, we're going to continue to offer that as well. Tom covered the California chats, but unfortunately, we had to cancel our Youth Teaching and Coaching Summit that was scheduled in late March. But led by Chairman Josh Alpert, we decided, hey, let's sort of bring that to life. So we created our virtual series of the Youth Teaching and Coaching Summit. And for about 6 weeks, weekly, had some of the speakers we had lined up at the actual summit, as well as some others. We were fortunate enough to have Colin Murakawa join us one week with his teacher, Rick Sestinghouse, which was great. Wish he would have made that putt yesterday, but that's just one example of some great education and opportunities for education, as Jeff always says, opportunities to get smarter. So that was a great series that we had. Sort of another opportunity that spawned from the California chats was our coach chats. We wanted to develop something specifically for our instructors and coaches so that they could sort of talk through the challenges that they were having and the importance of staying engaged with their students and their customers, even talking about how to offer online instruction and online lessons throughout all of this. So that has been extremely popular. We did that once a week. We've now scaled back a little bit, and that is now going to be a bi-weekly opportunity as everyone's sort of getting back to work, which is a good thing, and staying busy. To that end, we've developed a couple of videos. One was released and sent to you, I believe on Friday or Saturday, our instruction and coaching guidelines. We really wanted to bring visually, sort of bring the Back to Golf guidelines to life for you. So thanks to our teaching chairman, Randy Chang, who I believe is on this call, as well as Josh Alpert, and our teacher of the year, Tasha Bolig, and then also Junko, who contributed to that, and just went over some best guidelines as far as one-on-one instruction, group instruction, as we start to bring that to the forefront once again very soon. Certainly PGA Junior League and summer camps as that starts up here soon. So we hope that you take a look at that and that can help you. Another video that we created was our tournament guidelines. So that was led by Max Despain, your tournament director. And again, just sort of bringing those new guidelines back to life so that you could see visually what to expect at a section event when we get back to competing. We'll be doing the same for our junior tour. We'll begin video shooting of that this week and then into next week to get some footage at the actual events with the juniors. Really excited. The kids are ready to play, just as our members are ready to play. Every event, I think, is sold out at this point, which is great news. Everyone's excited and wanting to get back, and we're certainly excited to get back as well. We've stayed very busy in every department. As Tom mentioned, starting on March 16th, we started a remote work environment for our team to keep everyone safe and healthy. We started just a few weeks ago sort of a phased approach to bringing everyone back to the office in Ontario. And looking like July 1, we can have everyone in the building at the same time. We have been limiting the number of people that can be in the building at once. The building has been sanitized and clean. We have all, as Tom mentioned, we have all the safety precautions in place so everyone feels safe in the environment when they are in the office. We will have some opportunity for remote work as well, depending on the department and the activities that are happening throughout this busy summer. So we look forward to that. We did unfortunately have to furlough a few employees during this difficult time, but we're very excited that today everyone's back. So we do have our full team back as of today. Really excited about that, and everyone is just thrilled to get back into the swing of things and get going. One final thing, the Vegas Expo, that's typically held in August, has been canceled, as most of you probably know. But again, they're taking that approach of continuing with education. So starting next month, they will be offering virtual education from a wide variety of topics. So look for that in the coming months. We'll be promoting that as well. Another great opportunity for you to get some great education from some great speakers, and like I said, a wide variety of topics for you that you can do in the comfort of your home or your office. So they sort of want to bring the, at least the education side of the Fall Expo to life. So look for that. And as Tom mentioned, anytime that our staff can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for, and that's what we love to do every day. So thanks, Ryan, for the time today.
Thanks so much, Nikki. All right, next, if I could have Jeff Johnson on the webcam.
Well, I'm pushing it.
We can hear you.
Well, I probably sound better than I look. Okay.
There we go.
So Ryan, thank you, and thanks to all. Everything that Tom and Nikki said pretty much encompasses what we've been doing at the section. And we're excited to have everyone back to work and everyone contributing again, even though we've had more meetings probably in the last 2.5 months virtually than we've ever spent time before together in person. There's not a day really that passes that we're not discussing with department managers, with the entire staff, or with Tom, Nikki, and I, a number of things. And I'm going to give you just sort of a large view of where we are with the section. We've got 1,334 members in the section currently and 277 associates. The associate number continues to trend downward. We're down 5% this year and a startling 35% in the last 5 years. And this is constantly an area of discussion. I know Ken Farrell will probably speak to that and this trend that we're very concerned about. 94% of our section membership are male and 6% are female. And here in the Inland Empire, and might I say, Ian, Ryan, and Benny, how proud I am as a past president of this chapter to see, and Tony alluded to it, the resurgence and the rebirth of some real meaningful activity, and it's just heartwarming, and I'm grateful, we all are, to your efforts and your dedication. You've got 113 members in the Inland Empire chapter. 19 of those are associates, and 6 of those are in suspension. On the 19th of June, we're going to be hosting a first ever seminar for associates only. It's a 2 o'clock call-in, and Bryce will be providing information. I believe we already have 12 associates signed up. It's going to be chaired by Randy Shannon and Dr. Allison Kurt in the north, and we'll have all of the chapter representatives who are tasked with looking after associates in each chapter. So it really is an opportunity for everyone to visit, have questions answered, gain some support, and some information to be sure. Couple of just reminders, our dues, as you know, the PGA of America, in their wisdom, has granted an extension to PGA member dues and associate dues to October 31, an unprecedented step, but an important one, and we're all grateful for that. PGM also has been extended for all of the associates through each of the 3 levels. There's an additional year now to complete the work without falling into suspension. As well as MSR credits. We've provided over 50 MSR opportunities in the last 3 months, and that deadline has been extended for 1 year as well. So through 2021 June, all members will have an opportunity to gain their credits. Right now we have 51% of the section membership who has succeeded and met their requirement for MSR. As Tom had mentioned and Nikki had mentioned, we're repopulating the office, and once again, we're all excited to be back on a finance level. Your chapter is as healthy as it's been in a long, long time, so congratulations to you. And just sincerely thank you for all of the effort and energy. It is wonderful to see. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks so much, Chuck. All right, next, we'd like to have Junko with PGA Junior League speak to us a little bit.
Good morning, everyone. Ryan, thanks for having me on the call this morning. I will be brief, but just wanted to let everyone know that PGA Junior League, obviously we believe that there's a big opportunity now more than ever. Unfortunately, due to the situation, we did have to cancel our postseason events. This does include our national championship as well, but we felt like that was the right thing to do given the COVID situation, and we didn't want to put families in a position to have to make a decision to travel, as everyone knows that as we get into postseason, there's a lot of traveling and hotel stays involved. But part of the reason, or one of the bigger reasons why we decided to cancel the postseason, excuse me, events is to maximize local league play. We felt that this is a really important time. The kids definitely see the most or have the most impact during regular season play. And of course, you as golf professionals see the most impact financially and just the value that you guys give your juniors and your facility. So one of the reasons why we decided to cancel postseason is just so you have a lot of flexibility now to run the rest of the or to run junior league through the rest of the year. So even if you are a veteran captain or if you've never done junior league before, now is definitely the time to possibly think about it. Again, there's a lot of flexibility. Typically, we have different postseason eligibility rules that you have to abide by, but that is no longer. So just if you want to get your feet wet, we find that this is a great opportunity. And similar to what all the clubs, I think, and what all of you are seeing right now, the courses are busy. It's hard to get a tee time, but just think the juniors too. The juniors want to get out there. So if you have the ability or ability to, or whenever your facility and your local authorities allow you to do so, we highly encourage you to consider doing PGA Junior League. Give these kids something to look forward to after so much has been taken away from them the last few months. But that being said, I know Nikki mentioned a video earlier that we created. I'll talk about some PGA Junior League specific guidelines that were approved by, that we created that were approved by the CDC. This is a supplement to the Back to Golf Youth Activities Addendum. So if you're all already registered captains, you should have seen that email. But of course, if you're not, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to share some of those guidelines with you. And just one thing to note, especially with Junior League, and just a conversation that I had with a parent last week. Again, there's high demand for these kids to get out there, even new junior golfers, because as everyone knows, there's not a lot of other youth activities, sports especially, that are being allowed to resume anytime soon. So with golf being one of those rare sports that can, or I should say outdoor activities that we're allowed to do, the kids are looking for something. So I just had a parent last week who said, this is also the only sport that I'm comfortable putting my children in right now. So please help me find a facility. So there's parents out there that are looking. So just know that there's an opportunity with Junior League. One real quick also update, or I guess news that you'll slowly start to see some information about, is PGA Family Cup. This is a new pilot program for our state this year. There was a few other states last year that were able to pilot PGA Family Cup. This is a reimagined parent-child event. So feel free to reach out to me. There's a lot of flexibility here as well, but we find that there's a big opportunity for this program for everyone to look into, especially given some of the restrictions that might be at your facility. It just also encourages all family members, whether it's mom, dad, child, cousin, grandpa, grandma, to all come out together and play in a fun event. And similar to Junior League, we'll provide team kits for the families and we'll provide tee prizes. So more information to come for that. But again, we find that there's a huge opportunity for that for everyone this year too. So of course, a lot to do, or a lot of chances to bring more value to your facility and to show value as a golf professional until the rest of the year. So please feel free to reach out to me if I can help you with anything. And that's all I have.
Thanks so much, Junko, for sharing. Next, we have Ken Farrell. We could have him on the meeting here.
That would be me.
Good morning, Mr. Farrell.
Morning, Ryan. Great to see you, and thank you for giving me a couple of moments to talk about some of the programs and what is going on in career services. So let's see, Ryan, you asked how this all changed our department, what we did. The stay-at-home actually gave us an opportunity really to revamp a lot of the things that we do. It also gave us some time to do some training for our team, which was badly needed in certain areas, and get to some things that we kind of push aside down the priority list because we didn't have time to do it. So, and I'm talking about things like revamping our resume practices, job descriptions, different things like that, tools and resources that we provide all of you when you ask for them. So, but with that, I'd like to talk a little bit about some national programs. I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of these. There's been some changes on a few of them, and some may be the same, but I'll start with PGA.Coach. With that, keep in mind that on PGA.Coach, the ADM model, and if you complete the ADM model, you get the opportunity to fill out a profile on PGA.Coach, where people are able to connect with you. It's a nice profile to do. I would encourage you to do that, to go to PGA.Coach and do that. So Pga.org, the job board, most of you should know that CareerLinks is going away. That's going to happen very shortly. So you're probably not getting nearly the amount of CareerLinks postings that you used to get sent directly to your email with that. But with Pga.org going away, all jobs are now posted on the job board. So you go to pga.org, you click on jobs, and there you'll see all jobs. The nice thing about doing that now is that you can view every job that was posted in every section. And management jobs used to be posted through CareerLinks. All those management positions, head professional, general manager, those are on the job board as well. But if you would, go to pga.org and complete the profile, which you'll see up top, and then jobs that match that profile. And there's only 6 questions to complete. You can do that in 2 minutes. And then the jobs that are posted that match your profile will go underneath your account now. So you'll still get those direct jobs that match. You just need to go to pga.org and complete that profile. So if you would do that, that would be great. And right now you'll see several jobs posted, just a couple of them that are recent postings. O'Donnell Golf Club in the desert is looking for a new general manager / head professional. That includes shop ownership. They're paying around $80,000 to $85,000 salary plus shop ownership. Shop ownership is probably up to $20,000 to $25,000 net. But it's a nice little club and a nice opportunity. The head professional that's there is retiring. Michael Block is looking for an assistant professional at Arroyo Trabuco. Hide Yoshinaga just reached out. He's looking for an assistant professional at Valencia Golf Course. And there's a host of other jobs there. For Southern Cal specific jobs, you have to go to the left side of pga.org and then just click on Southern California. If you want to see other sections, just click on those and they'll come up. If you want to see all of them, don't click on any of them because they're all posted right there. So PGA.org, you may have noticed that there's a lot of improvements on PGA.org. The improvements are primarily to make it easier to find things. But I always say, click on the search button, type in whatever you're looking for, and that's the easiest way to find them. So lifelong learning, many of you, actually 110 people in the Southern Cal section took advantage of specialization, which the library was available at no cost. It's still available up till June 30th at no cost for the 3 areas that you can get specialized in. So you might still take advantage of that. You, as I mentioned, have up till June 30th to access it for free. You have an additional 30 days to submit your materials. But after June 30th, there will be a cost to do it again, and that cost is $350. Let's see, PGA My Journey is an interactive mentor program. If you feel that you're not getting the mentoring or want mentoring, there's PGA professionals available for you in all walks of life. Could be general manager, head professional, teaching professional, and there's mentors that are available to you by going on to mypgajourney.com, and you can actually get mentored. There's no cost to do that, which is kind of a nice feature the PGA is providing. There is a member assistance program, and that there's a $5 charge, but essentially what it is it's a sponsored resource that helps you deal with life's changes, challenges, demands, balancing home life and work life and all those kinds of things. So there are people available to you to get counseling and legal and financial consultation. It's a pretty nice service that the PGA is making available there. Golf Retirement Plus, I just found this out the other day that there are people who have not updated their Golf Retirement Plus account, and it needs to be updated annually. There is money available that is sitting with the PGA that is yours. They're just waiting for you to go update your account. So go to Golf Retirement Plus, or you can speak with Danny Palmer, who is the contact, and the number is 833 PGA Plus, or just reach out to me and I'll help you get to them. PGA Perk Spot, many of you are taking advantage of PGA Perk Spot, and there's roughly 300 merchants that are available to you for discounts. They include Samsung, Costco, Sprint, Apple, Target, all kinds of different merchants that are on there. Well, there's more than 300 merchants that are on there. 8,700 PGA members are taking advantage of it, but some of the discounts are really pretty amazing. So you should take a look at that. Again, pga.org. Just type in PGA Perk Spot and that'll come up, and you should be able to take advantage of that. So, Ryan, that's a lot of information, but it's all important information. And remember, if you can't find anything, or if you're looking for information or a contact person, reach out to me and I'll try and direct you to those that you're trying to get to, or the information that you need, the tools and resources that you're asking for. I'm always here to help, so please give me a call. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ken, for all that information. All right, so now we're going to hear from some of our board members. I'd like to start with Randy Chang. I think Jeff Johnson kind of talked a lot about, you know, the current membership, how many members and associates we do have. But Randy, if you want to get on and talk a little bit, and maybe about the PGA coach chats a little bit, and what you've had to adapt to during these times as well.
Thanks, Ryan. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Is my picture coming up, or?
I can hear you, but I don't see the picture coming up.
I got all dressed up for this. Hopefully people want to see me here. Okay. Have heard. Oh, there we are. Look, I got my coat on and everything. I don't know where it was. Well, good morning, everybody. As you heard, the staff pretty much gave my report. Jeff Johnson talked about the members and associates on a section level. This is one of the parts that we've always struggled with as far as participation go. Even hate to say, but even with this meeting being virtual, where I know people have to travel in to our physical meetings, but now with this type of setup, that you know, that's not an excuse anymore to get on for meeting that we haven't had for a while since the pandemic. But we only have 19 associates that are in our chapter, of which 6 of them are again in are in what's the word? Anyways, that's not a whole lot of associates that we have, and I think that has to do with the overall problem we're having as far as getting the associates just to come into our program. I know from a section level we are dealing with that. As far as members go, we have 113 members. I know we have about 10 of our members on this call. So that's definitely something that, as a chapter, we have talked about it with our officers, and that's something that we're definitely going to continue to try to improve. The other things that I've been involved with all this time through the pandemic, as being the teaching committee chairman, is getting back to golf and the different ways that we need to change the way that we do business, and we do teaching and coaching as well. So we did do that video that hopefully you folks have seen, and those of you that are in the teaching and coaching side of it, that will help you, again, just maintain the guidelines that we're experiencing right now, as far as getting back to teaching and coaching. With what Nikki was talking about, I'm sorry, about the Pga.coach, Ken Farrell was referring to. One of the big things about that is we always keep on hearing about what the PGA is doing for us. Well, this is one thing that they are doing. If you didn't see the Catalyst webinar last week, Thursday, we had Jeff Price, who is our Jeff Price is our Chief Commercial Officer of the PGA, along with Ted Logan, who is the director of the American Development Model, which this is all modeled after, as far as teachers and coaches in the PGA trying to get all together and kind of unify something that we all can agree upon, and which will help make our shield stronger, to make the PGA, I think, stronger in developing golfers for life. And that's our big thing, is retention of these people who are teaching, so that they stay with the game, whether they try to do it at a high level or just as a recreation level, as we are doing with the junior league. As you heard Junko talk about the family leagues that they're starting to develop. So those of you on this call that have not done, you don't have to be a teacher or coach as well to go through this this Pga.coach certification, which doesn't take that much time. There's no cost, but it's going to help you, even as a manager, if you're managing golf courses, to understand the things that you want to push at your facilities with your teachers and coaches as well. So there's going to be a big push on this, as you'll see, and that push, again, to help leverage this Pga.coach and in helping build your business as well, is Pga.com. If you fill out that profile, it's going to go on to the Pga.com website and engine, if you will, to help promote you. So people that are just Googling in, find the best coach in your area, your name will come up through the Pga.coach. So fill out that profile, and I think that's going to be really, really important. As Nikki also talked about, the coaches chats that we're doing, there will be one this Wednesday, and this is, again, a really good place for us to get together as teachers and coaches to talk about what we're doing, the challenges, and also the experiences that we're we're having, getting back to teaching and coaching. So please attend that. We'll be doing that bi-weekly. Other than that, I think that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. All right, next we're going to have Vinny Bertanga talk a little bit about our financial status and our tournaments coming up here.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep, hear you and see you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you again, all the staff from the SCPGA. Thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate that. As far as financials, we don't have a whole lot to work with, with everything going on. But fortunately, we do have about $6,405 to work with in our account. So that's definitely something positive to look forward to. Got a lot of good things coming up here. I'm also the tournament chair for the IE chapter. So there's a couple of things as far as tournaments that I wanted to talk about and bring up a little bit. I think Tom kind of introduced some of those. So I'll just kind of go over a few more of them. Obviously, we got that Pro coming up at Monarch. That's the SCPGA event. That's already got a wait list of 21 teams, which is actually pretty good to see that the guys want to get out there and start playing again. So that's a positive note. As far as our chapter tournaments, we do have the Players Series, which was supposed to be number 2. The first one was actually canceled because of COVID. But number 2, which would be our first one, is going to be on July 13th over at Victoria Club, which is pretty cool. Registration begins on the 13th. I think that's today, right? Is it 13th? No, 15th. 15th. Okay, so registration is open for that tournament. It ends July 10th is the last day you can sign up for that. That's open to all IE members and associates. So would love to see a big turnout at that event. There is going to be a $20 skins game attached at that event, $85 entry fee. So super affordable. Going to be a good event. I hope to see every single one of our members and associates out there. Obviously, we got the Cal State Open. That's open to all members and amateurs as well. That's going to be a big event. I know there's no qualifiers for that this year due to COVID. So if you do qualify, you should get an email about that. We do have the biggest tournament for us in August 10th and 11th over at Goose Creek. That's our chapter championship. That's probably the best event of the year. We get a lot of money raised over at Goose Creek, and Ross Fisher does a great job at that event. It's one of the most fun events I play in all year. I look forward to it. So I'm definitely going to be pushing to get some of you guys to participate in that. Whether your game is good or not, it doesn't matter. Just get out there and play. We want to get more participation in our events and these meetings and stuff like that. So we really got to get our guys out there and start playing a little bit more. And then the last thing for the IE Cup that I have is again, the Inland Empire Cup matches that we do at the end of the year. Those are November 21st and 22nd. Those are going to, I think that's, I believe, our top 10 players and then 2 captains picks. And that we play against the top amateurs from the Inland Empire. So it's a great event. I love playing in that every year. Really look forward to that as well. But that's about all I got. But really want to see some more participation. It's going to be my job to do everything I can to communicate with our members and associates and trying to get some more participation in our events and our meetings and everything. I mean, we've got, I think, 20 something today, but I wish we could, have at least twice that. So thank you guys for letting me be here, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.
All right, thanks, Vinny. Next, I would like to have Ian Ott, our communications chair, share a little bit with just our social media presence and what you've kind of talked with Nikki about a week ago on upcoming things that we'd like to see. Hey, Ian, your mic isn't on.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So Tom and Nikki did cover a lot of what I was going to go over today, not so much on the social media side, but on a few other things that we were covering. So Obviously we've had the shutdowns with COVID-19. So if you do go to the SCPGA site, we do have a specific tab for COVID-19. It does have updates, that Back to Golf campaign. The other big thing that I want to touch on there is the SCGA, SCPGA collaboration, the Do Your Part, Play Safe collaboration that we came up with them. Do me a favor, everybody, and go through and just kind of read through that. Probably take you about 3 or 4 minutes. It's just good resources as we start to reopen our clubs and get back to some sense of normalcy. As Ryan mentioned, the next big thing that I'm going to be touching on, kind of a personal project as my time as your secretary, is going to be our social media presence in the chapter. Our section does a great job. As I'm looking at our statistics right now on a section level, we've got just over 2,600 followers on Twitter, about 2,500 on Facebook, and 4,100 on Instagram. And if you don't already follow those social media accounts from a section level, I highly recommend it. They do post some good content on there that you can use for your personal ones. Nikki did come up with a hashtag for us, SCPGA Tips from Home. And that is, obviously everyone's been kind of pushing home lessons with the shutdowns, but we are, me specifically and our board is going to try to grow our social media presence for our chapter. I think that's something we've been somewhat lacking on a chapter level in the past. Next thing is our junior tour social media. So that probably won't do that from a chapter level. That's going to be more from the section level. If you don't follow those accounts, I highly recommend it. It's a good thing to let your kids know at the club. When tournaments are coming up, they always post things. They post, congratulations to the winners. Just a good thing to follow. Next, we've got our e-communication newsletters. So I know you guys all received those member to members. So we've got a total circulation of about 2,900 per month. They're going to be sent out on the first Saturday of each month. They'll be coming to your email address, the Back to Golf, special awards nominations, member to member, things like that. If you're not receiving those e-communications, please let me know so I can get you updated on the list. And then also, new big one is the program magazine that we send out. That is going to be going to an all digital publication starting here in the next couple weeks. Summer issue will be digital only. That will come out July 1. We've got a fall issue coming out November 1. That will be digital only as well. Next big thing that I don't believe anyone covered is we've got a brand new website for the SCPGA Junior Tour. That it's very impressive. I know the guys worked really hard on that. That's another thing to start sending your kids and parents of kids at your club to that site so they can start to get ideas of when we're going to be open, when tournaments are going on, stuff like that. And then we also came up with created the California Alliance for Golf. So newly created Instagram account there, quarterly newsletter, website updates, things like that. And that is, I believe it is called, or if you search in Google California Alliance of Golf, you'll find the website there. And then if you guys got my email last week, we've got this free golf for a year campaign. That's still kind of in the planning stage. We are working on how to make that work and getting some facilities. So stay around your emails. I'll get you some information on that if that rolls out to me. And then last point here for me is, I want to revamp the communications chair and secretary chair. So, I will probably be sending out a weekly, maybe bi-weekly email to everyone, just kind of updates on what's going on from a chapter level. If you guys ever have any kind of input, things that you want blasted out to the whole chapter, please shoot me an email so I can put that in my weekly email. My email is Pga@gmail. You can find it on my directory profile too. And on that, so I'll pass it back over to Ryan.
Thanks so much for all that information, Ian. All right, so that's all of our board members that will be sharing for today. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today. He's the founder of Big Game Golf scoring app, Mr. Rich Lesnick. I'm really excited to what he has to share about the app and looking forward to how he can help us PGA members run tournaments and stuff like that through the app. So Rich, if you're ready, looks like you have your screen up there. You can take it away.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Ryan, and the Southern California section of PGA. We really appreciate this opportunity. We're coming out of the gate this summer with a bigger marketing program, and we're really happy to give you guys this preview. But before I get into that, I'm a member of a few clubs out here in Arizona, and I really want to thank the PGA professionals for all that you've done so that we can continue to play golf during this time. As you know, as you've mentioned on the call, that's one of the few sanctioned outdoor activities, and without time and effort that you've put toward that, we wouldn't be able to do that. And I think on behalf of players around the country, I do want to thank you for all your time and effort to make that happen. It's greatly appreciated. So with that said, let's talk about big game golf. This is our flagship. We're a software company, and this is our flagship application, golf app. It's on the App Store. But to us, it's much more than just an app. An app is kind of like a skinny version of software. This is really a full-blown, pretty powerful game management software. And it's geared towards the players to run. You have you have Pro Shop software, whether you're using Blue Golf or Golf Genius right now. This is focused on the players' ability to run their own games, and it's really targeted for those regular weekly games that makes it super easy to organize, super easy to run, and players can focus on playing and having fun and not have to do the math afterwards. So what you see is there's really 4 things that our software tries to provide a player. It's a networking app, a little bit like LinkedIn, where you can find other golfers in your area and expand your golf network. It's like a little bit like eBite. There's a field management portion of it that automatically manages the field through texting and automatic invites and updates, makes it super simple. We kind of base that off of one of our games out here in Arizona. The organizer sends out 150 emails on Monday, and then he's got to weed through all those to get a game organized for Friday. Well, we've taken all that away, and you really manage it through texting, saying yes, you're in, or no, you're not, and you can manage the field that way. But the core of it is really this wagering engine. You'll see as we go through this introduction that we've got over 20 different games that you can select and adjust to the way you want to play it, and then you could run multiples of those. So there's really over 1 million gaming combinations that you can put in here. You can also just use it for scoring. It just makes it simple. And then the last part about it is the statistics and the history of your playing of your past games. And you can see here on our main page, we really focus on showing games. We used to have a whole bunch of buttons in front of this, but now it's just very game focused. So you can see for me, I got a playing history here, my last 149 games I've played, and you can pick really any one of these and dive right down into the stats and the statistics. You can see everybody's individual score. This is just going back into the history of your previous games. If anybody wants to go check out how they play, they can come into here and take a look at that. Let's see. And more importantly, here's the contest results. In this particular game in the past, you can see here we've got a game history. We're playing a team game, a low net game, low gross, skins, Nassau's. And the great thing about big game golf is you can just keep on drilling down and get the details. So inside Nassau's are Nassau's you might have with people in your group, and these are Nassau's outside the group. So for Gary, you can see, it can tell you where he won money, where he lost money, or points as we call them. We want to kind of stay out of that, but anyway, just want to give you an idea of the history that we'll provide for all your games. And what's really nice is you can track your stats too. So like over the last year, you can see, I might have 37 games in here. It'll tell me what my score was. If I want to see my average points, I'm down a little bit this year compared to other games, but it's really nice how you can keep track of everything as you play. Okay. I mentioned a little bit about the networking. You can see that we have golf networks and rosters. Golf networks, that's where you can expand your golf groups and your golf buddies. You can search for golf networks, and there'll be a little description. You can ask to be invited or ask to join. Rosters, you can create rosters, which are a little bit like email groups. So when you set up a game, in the example I'll show you, we'll set up a game and you can select a roster, and that's the set of people that'll get texted as to whether they want to play that game or not. Now, what I think is also really beneficial for this audience is the ability for a player to find a game. I've been part of golf clubs and for a year or so had not even known that there was a Wednesday game. But with Big Game Golf, if you're part of that golf network, you can go find a game and it'll search for the next 2 weeks for games that are scheduled in all of your golf networks. And you can drill down into that and see what they're playing and who's been invited. And if you want to join, you just swipe left, hit join. The organizer will get texted, say whether you can play or not. And you can expand your golf network that way also. So we see that that's been a really beneficial feature. And we've talked about participation in golf a little bit on this call that I've heard. That I've seen that help drive participation where they filled up a Tuesday afternoon that was kind of a dead spot and a tee sheet. All of a sudden they'd get 3 or 4 groups start filling that out because people have now seen that there's games going on and then they can participate easily. Okay. Now, we're going to walk through the core part of Big Game Golf, which will be the e-scorecard and the wagering engine, or the calculator, really. So to add a new game, it's as simple as just hitting the plus button. We tried to make this as simple as possible. When you set up a game, you got to know where you're playing and what you're playing and who you're playing with, and that's within 2 screens. You set that up and away you go. So you just pick our facility, what tees we're playing. I could, select a roster, just say Rich and Ryan. We also manage max number of players in that texting field management. If you say we only have 8 players, it'll accept the first 8 that respond and then create a waiting list that you can manage additional groups off of a waiting list. And then we just pick our contests that we're going to play. Now, in our contests, we have a few interesting things. We have, you can define a handicap track game. And when you really start to get down to the days that you're want to play seriously, we want to just create a game specific handicap. So if you pick a handicap track game, it'll create the selections of the combination of what that game consists of, but it'll go back into your playing history of everyone in the field for that specific game and generate a game specific handicap. So there's no sandbagging. You can't go out and blow a game up on the weekend to get a few more shots when you're actually playing with the guys for a little bit more on Wednesday afternoon. But you can see all the games we have here. Player versus player game. We've got over 19 sets of these. Here, I'll give you an idea here. So there's over 20 plus of these individual games you can play. And we also have this thing called check vig. At the end of the round, if you want everybody to pony up, 10 or 20 bucks for the bar tab at the end or the restaurant tab at the end, you can have that automatically added to your calculations. And then we have some, Wolf is always a very popular game, or 2-man games, or 666. You can do team games, and then group on group games. So it's really super flexible. It has been our kind of mantra when we put this this software together. For this example, let's just do this. Let's just do, okay, we do net skins, and you can always adjust what's going on with the contest. We're not going to do carryovers. We're going to do, gross beats net on a net skin. We're going to do a buy-in for 20. Like I said, this is super flexible. We'll do some Nassaus against each other. Auto press at 2 down. Sounds good. Train, and then I'll show you this big deal, and we'll do VIG. Goes to everybody. You can also set it to only the winners have to pay the tab at the end, and it'll do a pro rata based on how much people won. But for your regular weekly games, they could set up a profile here where they just select one button, and then that setup just automatically gets put into the system. All right, so that's for today. Because we're playing today, we're just going to go right to the T because we only have one group. This is also a multi-group app. You can have unlimited numbers of players, unlimited number of groups, one person in each group using the software to score. So now we'll just set up our group here. It's going to be me and Ryan, and then I'll add a guest. Let's do this. I think. The heck. We can also pick from our contacts. So since this is my simulator, I just get a standard set of Apple contacts. Starting on hole 1. And you could adjust shots right here at the first tee if you'd like. Ryan, I don't know. I'm going to guess for you. It's a little generous, maybe. I don't know. All right, we'll make it even. We'll do that. Now, also, when you set up a game, some people may not want to play some things. We're going to put Ryan back in the game, but let's say Dustin isn't going to hang around, so he doesn't need to get the check vig added to him. He doesn't want to play train. So it's super flexible, and you can do this right on the tee, and this is even adjustable during the round. You can update it during the round. Okay, so if there's adjustments to certain Nassaus, these guys just want to play 2, 2, and 2. You can set that up there. Ryan doesn't want to play Daniel. That's out. And then we're off to the first tee. All right, so this is our e-scorecard. Now, you can see it's already pre-populated with scores. That for us it's an option in the player's profile. They can turn this off, but for the purposes of this demo, I put it in. It pre-populates a score based on the handicap, and then the handicap for that hole, the player's handicap, and then the whole handicap to make it faster to go through. If we all had pars here, we just swipe to the next screen. But it's, other than that, we're just updating and away we go. Now, the fun thing for us, and one of the main reasons why we developed this software, is we wanted to see how we stood during the round. So at any point during the round, I can go to current standings, and it calculates the bets across the field for where we're at. Now, this is indicating that there's no skin yet, so until there's a skin, there's some money that's out that we haven't paid yet, or the train. In fact, this one's particularly for the train. So let's get some train scores going there. So if we go to the next hole, now we'll start to see the train being paid out. All right, so now our check sums back down to 0. You can see we have $60 here for the check. Let me show you on the side there. So there's not a skin yet inside Nassau's. If you want, you can drill down during the round to see where you stand. All right, they're all square right here. I'm 1 up, 7 to play, 1 up with 16 to play. And it carries this information for everybody across the field as you play. All right, let's get some lower scores in here so we can see some other things calculated. The dots, you can see, you know, we show where a player has to add a dot to their score. Black dots mean they get a shot on that one. And if you're playing games off the low handicapper, there's yellow dots that show up, so you can see on certain holes off the low handicap who's going to get shots, who's not going to get shots. But I'm going to fast forward a little bit through because we'll have 18 holes of this e-scorecard. I'll make some changes along the way so that you know, we could see some adjustments and some bets calculate. All right. I mentioned if you're on the 4th hole or you're a little bit at the beginning of the round and you're still adjusting the game, trying to figure things out for that group, which really happens quite often. You're often hurting cats at that moment. But you know, you can also change the settings for the game right now. Say, oh, you know what? We were playing skins, but you know, we wanted to do carryovers. So you can change that, and then the whole field, everybody's software gets updated that, okay, now we're calculating for carryovers. So you can do that. In addition, if you get to a point where someone didn't want to play a game, you misheard them at the beginning, you can take them out of games. Let's say, you know, Dustin, actually, yeah, he wanted to play train, but Daniel didn't. So you can take them in and out. You can adjust handicaps also. It's super flexible. One thing with the flexibility that we tried to focus on is we took feedback from our PGA professionals here in the Valley with the software that they currently use. And some of this feedback from that was, it was static. They had to set everything up. It had to be perfect before they printed out scorecards or set it up or released it to the app before everybody hit the first tee. Ours, you can adjust who's in your group before you play. You can adjust the game as you're going, as it's in process. You can adjust the game. And you know, that was a major focus in what we believe to be really important, because as a game organizer myself for regular weekly games, you never know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, someone doesn't show up, or somebody else shows up right at the end, wants to join the group right out of the parking lot, and you know, we've made it so that we can handle those situations and keep everything flowing easily. All right, I'm just going to get through these last couple holes here and show you what happens at the end of the round. Let's see. I got to get back to even, so I'm gonna do my best here. All right. Okay. So now we're done scoring this round. Gives you a little summary screen at the end, just to, you can shout out to everybody what, you know, what their total was, gross net. And now that we're done, our today's game button gets highlighted, and we can go right into the, if we're sitting in the clubhouse after the round, you know, we can review it with everybody. You can see, all right, well, yeah, let's walk through this. You can make adjustments if you got something wrong. I'll show you there's a scorer's table where you can fix everything or make sure everything's correct. Get back here. Now, the contest results. If everything's right, you can post this as final. But if something doesn't look right, you know, if the checksum's not coming up right because there's an error in the way the game was set up or something like that, you can go, now the scorer's table gives the owner of the game full control to make any adjustments at the end of the day. You know, you could fix handicaps, in-out settings, you can edit any score, If there was a junk game, you can edit junk on the bottom. If there was a team game, you can edit team points. If you're doing Indy par threes, I mean KPs on par threes, you can edit all that. It's completely flexible. You can make adjustments to the game. And then also really has been a kind of a saving feature for us. Let me go back here. There you go. A saving feature for us was this add group. Not everybody may have the software or an iPhone in that group, but they can keep a paper scorecard, and then the owner of the game could add that group right at the end. What you'd see here is they just fill out the e-scorecard here. They'd get a, let's do that, matter of fact. Let's just do group 2. Let's see, from my networks, I'm just gonna add a bunch of people. Let's see, Tom's playing, he's in. Let's say Tom's in. All right. Okay. So we're going to add these guys came in with a paper scorecard. We're going to add them to the group here, make adjustments, put them in or out, whatever games. You say, okay, we pre-populate a scorecard for them. And then you would just match this up with what they really shot. You know, you could make these adjustments here, post that. Now you can see that Tom and Tom are already added as players. There's Tom and Tom, and here's where they came out in the contest. So again, that flexibility was foremost for us to have the capability to handle. Nobody likes to pay out cents, so we also have a round function where you can round down so that everything's now whole dollar amounts. And it'll tell you if you got a little bit left over, you can leave that as part of the tip or whatever. But that's final function here is when the post is final, it'll text out results to everybody. So if you've got a large group, let's say you got 5 groups and you're playing skins, you got the first group in can't necessarily wait a couple hours for the last group to come in and figure out the skins bets. So, you know, they got to get home, get on with their weekends, go to a kid's soccer game or what have you. But when you say text results, it'll text everybody the results. It'll see, you know, what their gross score was, their net score was, what score they're supposed to post, and then whether they were up or down on the money. So that is a really quick rundown of big game golf. Let me get out of here, get back to the beginning. And where we're going with this, you can see now it's part of my completed game history. I can check that out. But where we're going with this is it's a players-based app right now. We want to make it a favorite of a player to use, get them so used to using it. When we release our Pro Shop version to handle your members, your multi-day tournaments, your flighted tournaments, which we're going to be releasing in 18 to 24 months, it's going to be the natural go-to for the Pro Shop to use because it's pervasive throughout the players community. With that, our idea is to flip the model at the club. Instead of scoring software being a cost center for your group, we want it to be a revenue generator. This is a subscription service for players, $1.99 a month or $20 a year. Once they have that scoring software, any games that you set up, they can participate in, and we have television leaderboards that could be, you know, we have a version that's a television leaderboard that could be running in the men's grill or the restaurants during the rounds. They're all managed through iPads and iPhones, so you don't have to go run back to the computer to make adjustments. We can handle setting up groups beforehand. We do that in here so that when players log in, they don't even have to set up their group. It automatically pre-populates what their the players in their group are and what shots they're getting. But you know, again, our philosophy right now is to get it into the hands of players, get it to be loved and adopted by them, and then when we release our Pro Shop version, that'll relieve the expense needed to run tournaments because it'll be in the hands of everybody already, and that cost, you can redirect those funds to something else in your clubs. In addition to that, this is we're buttoning up a program that we're putting together for the Southern California PGA, and thank you, Ryan, for thinking of us. And Ryan and I have been in contact the last several months, and in fact, Ryan reached out to me maybe 9 months ago as he saw this software on the App Store. And so we've been working with him, and we're talking about, and we're starting to put the details into and buttoning up a program for the Southern California PGA that can do some kind of incentive program where there's either a revenue share or contests or something. But we want your group to benefit from helping us get this introduced to your community. And what we've seen here in Arizona, once players start playing with it, there's no alternative. They find it very difficult to go back to paper, and they don't want to do that. Everything's in their pocket. Everything they like to play golf and not do math is kind of like the bottom line. That's our overview for where we're at now with big game golf. Is there anything else that you'd like me to discuss, Ryan, or features that you like that you saw that maybe I should highlight?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of covered what the app has to offer, setting up a game. And I mean, what I really liked was what you talked about in the beginning, where you can see different games going on at different clubs, you know, skins games. I know there's a couple guys I know that, you know, they travel to different courses and they set up skins games. And so I think it's just really cool how people can get involved in groups. Yeah, I really like what the app, I've been using it myself here for the last month, and just really like going through the app and everything. I'm just excited what it could potentially bring to us PGA members as well. So yeah. At this time, if there is any questions for Rich with the app, if someone could check that for me, not to.
Ryan, I don't see any. I don't see any questions as of right now.
All right, no worries.
Hey, one last thing, Rick, could I add? Right now, this is an Apple-based product. It's for iPhones and iPads. Over the next 18 months, before we get to that club version, it'll also be available on Android. Our intent is to make it a version available for that also.
Awesome. All right. Well, I just want to thank Rich for all that and your presentation. So I also want to thank for those who attended today's meeting. As a board, we have been working together and coming up with different strategies, getting more participation within our chapter, whether it's coming up with different formats of our tournament play, different cool places to host our future meetings and tournaments, creating a more social media presence. As Ian was saying, we really want our fellow chapter and associate members to understand that the more you're engaged with the chapter, the more opportunities there will be to be known. We are a smaller chapter than some, but we want, you know, we are better together. We want people to be more engaged in our chapter. So if you guys have any suggestions or have things we can make better within our chapter, don't hesitate to email me at newimagegolf.com or newimagegolf@gmail.com. But I also want to thank the SCPGA staff for being on the meeting today. I'm excited of what golf is coming to. Like Nikki and Junko was saying, it's a sport that's deemed safe during these times. So I think it's going to attract new golfers and players that want to get out there and play. I think technically there's an old business or new business thing within our meeting. So I want to open it up to if anyone has anything to share for old business. No, any new business going on? All right, well, thank you again, everyone, for today's being on today's meeting, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Nice job.
Thanks, Director.
I'm on my way to the office, by the way, so